Hello, 6th grade, and welcome to this week's math lesson. Go ahead and please take out your math notebooks and open to a clean sheet of paper, name today's date. Let's go ahead and review our objective today. Last week, we talked about algebraic expressions and translating them. We're going to be continuing that lesson, continuing on today. So our objective today is I can write expressions from verbal statements. So previously, I've asked you about these four regarding to our shield of mathematics. Looking at this function here, how would I translate this function? Correct. Would be x plus 2. Is there another way we could write it? That's correct. X plus this, or you could say the sum of x and 2. Correct, because the sum is another word for addition. What about subtraction? Of course, x minus 2. Very good. What about this one here? Of course, 2 times x, or the product of 2 and x. And our last one here, we can do as x divided by 2. Very good. So in looking at this, we're once again looking at translating algebraic expressions. So let's say I have the following problem. Now, expressions can come from many different sources. But let's say I had the following. A little bit different than what we're normally used to, right? You're correct. So if I were to ask you to translate this expression, how would you go about doing it? Can't figure it out? Well, let's go ahead and work on it together. So right now our total would be our x. And if we're trying to find this part here, could I not do x minus 4? Wouldn't that give us our missing value? That's correct. So a way I could write this, if we were to translate it, is we would say x minus 4. Very good. Let's look at one more, shall we? Let's say I have the following. How would I go about translating this expression now? The sum of E and F subtracted from G. All right, let's go ahead and solve it. So looking at our first word here, sum. What does the word sum mean? Correct, it means addition. What two variables are we going to be adding together? E and F, correct. So the sum of E plus F subtracted from G minus G. So our expression would be E plus F minus G. And the way, again, that we look at this is we always look at order when looking at an averbal expression. Because sum is first, we're going to do our plus first. Had subtraction be first, we would do subtraction first. But because in our sentence, sum is first, we always start with plus. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and move on to our exit ticket. want you to do is I want you to translate the following for me. The following two expressions I want you to translate for me. Number 1 and number 2. I'll go ahead and pause here in the video for you to answer the following exit ticket. Alright, let's go ahead and solve it, shall we? If we're to translate the following here, the first things first is we have to look at 2m. 2m is what? Multiplication, right. So we could write it a number of ways, but we could write it as 2 times m. Now our last part here is subtraction, so we can do 2 times m minus n. Very good. Let's look at our next one, shall we? This is a little bit easier. 8 minus 3 plus x. Well, first things first, 8 minus 3, and then plus x. Now, one thing before we finish and wrap up today is I want you to look at one more problem. I thought I had you going there. Let's say, let's go back to our first one. Let's say I have 3x minus p equals 5. How would I go ahead and write that? Correct. Same way we did before with our exit slip, we could do 3 times x minus p equals 5. That is correct. Equals, or is, or of, that you see in an expression also means equals, which you may see on your homework tonight posted on thatquiz.org. Join me next time when we'll be delving more into translating algebraic expressions. Stay tuned. And also, your homework is posted on Google Classroom. Thank you so much.